As a prospective writer, I would urge you to not only read good books, read terrible books as well, because they can be more inspiring than the good books.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to this story where you can look at plot synopsis and character bios. So, we are looking at parts 11 and 12 of Alan Moore's Captain Britain run from the early 80s as part of the Marvel UK. It's been reprinted twice in the United States, once as X-Men Archives and then on a trade paperback. And that's it. These are out of print. It's kind of funny. Marvel owns the characters and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I don't know whether they're trying to appease Alan Moore because it just doesn't seem like a Disney thing. Particularly nowadays, you would feel like they'd be like, whatever, we'll print what we want. If you don't like it, tough patooties. But they haven't reprinted them yet. So, all right. So we're gonna pick off where we left off. So pick up. Sorry. All right. So they're watching the television. They're clandestines. They are frightfully powerful, and they are not our friends. And they call themselves superheroes. They have walked among us for more than 40 years, robbing us of our independence and endangering our lives. America's overrun with them. They have established footholds in Canada, Africa, and the Middle East. Even Russia has not proven immune. I think I was supposed to read this way, but I didn't. I always complain about the lettering, and here they actually had a thing, and I didn't follow it. So, many of the creatures are individuals as powerful as entire armies, and they number in the hundreds. We have encouraged them. Last month, President Ronald Reagan granted a full pardon to the mindless engine of destruction known as the Hulk. These monsters ignore our laws and threaten our freedoms. Yet, we welcome them with open arms. They must be contained, but how? How can you contain a being that can uproot mountains or walk through walls? How do you reprimand creatures that are indestructible, that can bend the very lightning to their will? So this is Sir James Jaspers, the same James Jaspers we encountered in the beginning. And you can see that she's not taking it well. How do we suppress the Supermen? But let them know this. Impregnable though they may be, humanity is aware of the menace they pose. We have closed our ranks against them, and we stand determined, waiting to see who will make the next move. And these two are playing chess. Stalemate, they say. And the title, Waiting for the End of the World. And Alan Moore is the writer, and Alan Davis is the artist. He's doing both the pencils and the inks. One of the neat things here is the all black. You can see he's got his arms crossed, but he is not showing any a little bit of, normally when people draw, they at least ink, just leave a border, but nope. So, Miss McKillian, Linda, asked Captain Britain, try to remember that the man on TV isn't the same James Jasper responsible for what happened to your Earth. He's the James Jasper of our continuum. He's a totally different man. Look, maybe it's all a coincidence. Yep, he's hopeful. So, Miss McKellen says, Captain, my parasenses led me to your mansion tonight. I came to warn you, to tell you that what happened in my world, you already know of it, but you didn't hear the screams. You didn't smell the blood and the burning. But you will, Captain, you will. All the horror all the purges and the betrayals and the executions. And on my world, it all began with one little speech. Well, yes, but a different speech. The one we just heard, surely. I mean, no, it was the same speech, Captain. It was exactly the same speech, word for word. Love the with Alan Davis, you don't see very much of shadows. He tends to be a neater penciler, a more what would be clean, similar to Frank Quietly and stuff like that. So seeing him kind of slinging all this ink is a very welcome. He should go back to it. I like it. So this is Sebastian Shaw from the X-Men, and then this is Peter Garrett from the Avengers. Although I don't know if he's shown up in recent times, but he was a staple of the 80s. Terrific speech, Sir James. Indeed, says Sebastian Shaw. Well worth the trip from the colonies, Sir James. Thank you, Sebastian. Glad you could make it. None of this would have been possible without the generous contributions that Shaw Industries have made. Small change, Sir James. Mayor Coppers, and speaking of coppers, as you English may say, allow me to introduce Mr. Peter Garrett. Peter's with the Central Intelligence Agency. Real quick, Sebastian Shaw is a mutant. He's one of the enemies of the X-Men. But he's trying to get rid of other super powered. He's trying to basically take over his thing. So, and he does look a bit like Tommy Lee Jones. So anyway, Peter says, although I'm not here in any official capacity, I hastens to add, ha ha ha. I think that would have been a joke. I don't know who this is, but he looks like somebody famous, perhaps? I don't know. During that time. So, it's good to have you aboard, Peter. Sebastian must drag you down to the club the next time you're both in town. Now, if you'll excuse me. Jimmy, darling, over here. So, he feels ghostly and distant again. He wants to laugh, but he feels too sad because the wine is wrong. It's white wine. He doesn't like white wine. He only likes red wine. Suddenly, you see everything goes opposite here. The negative, so black is white and white is black. A cabinet mister is telling a story about a nun and a rhesus monkey. And you can see the wine, by the way, went from white to red. A brittle shrieks of distance hostess a splinter against the smoke blue glassiness of everything. A crooked man is smiling a crooked smile. So, and here's Merlin, and so it begins. And he's playing some kind of trick. And, what is her name? Roma, I think it is. Well chosen, my lunar orchid. Black moves first. So they're playing a game of chess with these with the heroes and villains here. And so the phone rings and she moves her piece. Hello, yes, of course, this is the Vixen speaking. Arcade, if you don't... This isn't arcade, madame. This is a cheekier chappy by far. And never mind asking how I knew you... I'm sorry. British English. All right. And never mind asking how I knew where to reach you. And so another piece is moving. Your forces now control Strike from within, do they not? Who is this? And then another move. That's not important. What is important is that within a week, Strike will receive direct orders from the British government to eradicate all superheroes. Prepare yourself. Toodle-doo. And then another piece. And Vixen just looks at the phone. And so Legion is playing chess, stalemate. Legion, that's the 5th stalemate game you've played against yourself tonight. Can't you take up something less predictable and irritating? Ping pong. And says, come on, we've got to work out what we're going to do about this situation, says War Dog. And I forgot the name of some of these characters, but he's like, who's going to pay us? Zeitgeist. All right. No, come on, War Dog. We're only here until Saturday pays us the money we're due. This isn't our fight. No more credit, War Dog. So, a lot of vertical panels. So, it is our fight. Something's going to happen here on this world. It affects us all, but I don't know what it is. I wonder why not. And so, Elizabeth, this is Psylocke. Look, let's leave now while we can. Be quiet, Tom. I'm getting something. I like the panel. I like that. So, wire and sores and hungers and lice. Tom, my head's full of screaming people. Great panel here. I think this is Spider-Man and Captain America right here. And one of them is me. Let's see, Captain Britain. I cannot recognize the other ones. Death camps, Captain. That's what you face. Torn scraps of bloodied capes and masks being tossed to the screaming mobs. I've seen it. I can't stand seeing it again. And Captain Britain says, but if what you say is true, we've got to fight back. We'll need everybody. You're a superhero. No, she says. I'm not a superhero. When they come for me, I'll plead and cry and beg. And that's what I'll say. I'm not a superhero. Take him over there instead. He's a superhero, not me. Not me. And she's, of course, broken. She had quite a traumatic experience. So I sort of don't blame her. I think most of us would do exactly what she's doing. I think we'd like to think we would be better, but history has shown us we would not. There was no point in my coming here. I don't know why I did it. It was stupid. I'm going now. Goodbye, Captain. And Captain Britain just says goodbye. So, and yes, now most of the pieces are in play. The game begins in earnest, and yet, it seems for some factor is amiss. It looms on the periphery of my vision. So, Merlin is watching intently. I wonder, can it be? And you can see that she's being watched by the Fury. Can I have forgotten something? And so, thus we ends our chapter, so we'll go to the next. So, Saturnine goes against Captain Britain, and she says, thoughtful, Captain? Yes, I suppose I am. And Saturnine asks about the McKillen woman, about Captain UK and her prophecies of doom. War Dog, you keep saying we. I've told you already. If there is no money in this, then I'm not involved, says Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist, if the universe gets wiped out, where are we going to find a better job? No, War Dog, not we. If you, and then, the precog, I forgot her name. She's like, if you think that, and then, so her name is Cobweb. Okay. So she's just, I've missed something. I, of all people, says Merlin. So Merlin is taking a bath with his daughter. No one is infallible, Father, not even you. Sometimes I think that a strong wind would have blown you over. Ah, yes, but I make the winds, says Merlin. About her and a lot of other things, says Captain Britain. About what's happening to this country, about Sir James Jaspers, about those aliens or whatever they are in my sitting room, about us. Us? But Captain, whoever said anything about us? And Linda McKillen is screaming. And Cobweb's like, I didn't see it coming. And Linda McKillen is screaming. And that, Father, says Roma, did you make that? And Linda McKillen is screaming. I tell you what, Alan Moore is crafting a really, really, really good story. Man, oh man, Alan Moore is a fantastic writer. So, the sound of her screaming is the sound of the glass breaking, a glass breaking slowly. So, Alan Moore decided that this name would have been more appropriate, The Sound and the Fury. So, and everybody's like, sort of taken aback, except Merlin. Merlin's just looking annoyed, perhaps. So, it was waiting for her in the bushes. She'd been dreaming about this for 10 years. Ugly dreams. Dreams of spurting aorta. How descriptive is Alan Moore? Dreams of ganglia twitching from the wreckage of spines. These types of panels, Alan Moore continues to do them to this day. These weird looking kind of panels like that. So she saw now how hopelessly optimistic those dreams had been. It was much bigger than she remembered. And so the Fury still 3 dogs, 2 cats, 1 broken television, 1/3 of an abandoned motorcycle, plus 2 humans. That's what he used to build himself. This is what it had consumed. This is what it had eaten. It was bigger now. So, it had encountered her before. She had escaped. A muscle tightens. Platignan nerves crackle. And so, no, no, yells Merlin. And the Fury fires. And Roma's like, Merlin, you can see here that it burned through the statue. She is still alive. It has something like a feeling, and that feeling is something like disbelief. So Merlin protected her. It identifies the sensation of being contra survival, and it erases with the wave of a gland. She is still alive. That must be rectified. Once it has dealt with whatever approaches it from behind. And so the Fury grabs Captain Britain. I almost said Captain Marvel. You're pretty tough, chum, but let's see how that cheap suit of armor stands up to. And the Fury's looking. Oh, God! Because, of course, he recognizes it. And Psylocke senses it and screams. Outside, the bleak sound, harsh and blue, rose like war clouds shot with death's lightning. Wow. Not one of your better ones, Lady Burning Fish, but I think you're right. Someone's in trouble out there. Let's see who, says War Dog. War Dog, how long have we been in charity? This isn't our fight. You can't just... And so... Zeitgeist, I've heard your argument, and it has some very good points. However, on the whole, I find it lacks substance, as he goes right through him. Excuse me. And this guy looks at Psylocke, and he's like, Elizabeth, outside. Saturnine, what is that thing? It's that symbiote, the Fury. But Mandragon destroyed its entire continuum. Why isn't it dead? Just lucky, I guess. And so War Dog is going towards it, which is a lot more than can be said for our two crumpled captains. Let's put this one away hard, and he grabs War Dog fast and rips off his arm. And so Legion goes to protect him. And so he shoots at one and breaks one of the Legion. It killed Legion, but only one of him. There is only one of him. But by doubling back on his own timeline, he can summon countless legions, each separated by a split instant. Unfortunately, you only have to kill one, and all the others up to that timeline from that point vanish forever. And that thing's just done it. And so, Legion is dead. And a week from now, catching up with the instant of his death, he will blink out of existence. 4 days from now, we will make love for the last time. Afterwards, I cry. And after that, what happens after that? I didn't see it coming. Legion dead. War Dog crippled. I'm making love to Legion. I'm scattering his ashes. I'm meeting him for the first time. I'm crying. That was weird. So, but what happens after that? And why didn't I see it coming? That thing outside, it just kills and kills. McKillen screaming. It killed her lover too. Her bladder letting go. So here's Sir James. Shouldn't be here. Pattern broken. There was a crooked man, and he white wine turning red. And you can see Merlin also saving Captain Britain. White and red, like blood and bone, like chessmen, the board's askew. The gamer's hands are scorched and blackened. All strategies are shredded in the random wind. Nothing is certain now. But if this game is lost, if this world falls, I see a universe eaten alive by chaos. And another universe, and another, like dominoes tumbling. I see the future, and it is canceled. And a large scream. Thus ends our chapter. So, Captain Britain, Alan Moore's run from back in the early 80s. This is parts 11 and 12. Great. Love it. A splash page that's black with just the word of someone screaming. So, hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. And thanks for listening.